welcome back to the CEO Sit Down. We've had a bit of a change of scenery. We're up in HQ in the official garden room, just to mix it up. So thanks, Ant, for joining us for another chat.
No worries, can you see me?
Blending in a little bit. I'm a bumblebee, I might blend in the background with the flowers. Today we're talking about the Thriving Survey. So we do quite a few surveys of our staff to measure well-being, development, etc. So Thriving Survey is a key component of that. So can you give us a little bit of a rundown? The Thriving Survey, I believe, is done twice a year, and it plays into one of the key business pillars, which is to have thriving staff. So can you give us a bit of a rundown background of what the survey asks and how it helps with the business and thriving staff within it?
Absolutely. Thanks, Sarah, for having me on again. It's a good series we're running here. The Thriving Survey was captured because it's really important in our business that people succeed professionally and personally. Like, that's a really big strength of ours, and we really want to deliver that and make sure that all people across the business can feel that they're striving for those. So as part of that, we put as part of our pillars in our vision was to have thriving staff. And so we want to capture that and measure that somehow. So how do we know that the staff are thriving? So we concocted a little survey, a little short, sharp survey, about 10 questions, where 5 of them are about learning and development and 5 are about energy, because we've identified those 2 areas as being really important for thriving staff. Mm-hmm. So we will capture that twice a year, as you mentioned, to say, how are you feeling at this point in time with your learning and how are you feeling about your energy? So it's been a great survey to capture that information.
Yeah, fantastic. It's great to see an organisation that cares so much about their staff input and opinion and understand sort of where everyone's at. Can you give us a bit of an understanding of how the Thriving Survey differs from, there's a staff satisfaction survey that goes out once a year, as we've mentioned. How do the 2 differ, or how do they work together? And as a CEO, how do you then interpret that data to understand where things are at?
Absolutely. And you probably referenced a lot of surveys in there. As a market researcher in the past, we're working for the wrong business if you don't like surveys. I love them, so I keep doing the surveys all the time. But yeah, the staff sat is done once a year, and that's to capture the whole collective of the business. So how's the business performing overall? And we'll capture things like culture in there, leadership, work-life balance, benefits, rewards, and learning development as well. Mm-hmm. So that's capturing a holistic view of the business once a year.
And that's anonymous, isn't it? The staff
yeah,
sat?
absolutely.
Yep.
It's anonymous.
Yep.
So, and that's really just to get a total view. This one's done twice a year to capture a point in time, and it's not anonymous, to make sure that people put their names to it, which might sort of deter a few people, but we try and encourage everyone when they start in the business to have a chat and say, this is coming, you'll get to do this, and you put your name to it. But then we say, please answer it honestly. And it's not to say that we're going to come down on people like a ton of bricks if their scores are low, or anything like that. So we want to say, if you're feeling great, call it out. If you're not feeling great, call it out. Because what it enables is it gives us a chance to have that conversation with people, that if they're not feeling great in some area, it brings it to the surface and has that chat. And so we encourage people as well, don't hide. Don't answer 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6 out of 7 and go, I don't want to talk about it. Because that doesn't do anyone any good. Like, we're trying to create an environment where people love working at, and if people are hiding and don't want to talk about an issue, well then that's not going to do anyone any good.
Yeah, great. And what's, from a CEO's perspective, what does success look like on a scoring piece, like on that scale? How do you know you've reached success? What are we aiming for, and where have we come in recent years?
Yeah, so from success, we want to see everyone in a fairly high level and score on both. Now you might get some people who are high on learning, low on energy, and vice versa. So if they're high on energy but their learning's low, we'll try and capture that and have a look and say, what can we do for the individuals? We will aim for a score of about 6 out of 7 generally. That's been the historical goal, and we've sat above that most times. We've sat about 6.1. COVID came, it went just below 6, which
understandable.
Yeah, and frankly we were quite happy. Yeah. 5.98. I can tell the exact score there. So we actually
statistician talking here, a data man.
Oh yeah, go data. So we will. So we generally look at that. We want to push that into 6.2 territory in the future. So we're bringing new initiatives into the business, like happiness plans, which will be, I'm sure you'll talk about that at some point in the future, and also extra learning and development opportunities. So they're coming to the business. So we're like try to push that a bit further. What we're also looking for is if people's scores, as I reflected on before, are lower overall, well, that probably might spark a conversation. But we're not going to go, okay, we need to talk to you and you all the time. We'll keep just an eye on people on the way through. If they've had scores of 6.5, 6.5, and then all of a sudden they're 4.5, we might just sort of instruct the manager to go and just check in with the person just to see how things are going as well.
Yeah, I think you've made a really good point there. I think that from a department head as myself, it's a really great conversation starter piece to even talk to the team generally, or even pick up conversations with team members individually, just check in how they're going, and you've obviously got the data to support it. So thanks very much, Elaine.
No worries.
Thank you to give us a bit of a rundown on the thriving survey.
Great to be on board. Thanks, Sarah.